This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is Brian John, CEO of Jupiter Wellness. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is JUPW, as well as Shannon Soqui. He's the executive chairman at Next Frontier Pharmaceuticals. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
How are you, Bobby?
It's great to have you both. So, Brian, we had you on the last time we did an interview together talking about Jupiter Wellness, and then an update there, I think was, I believe it was November 29th, 2020, we published that interview. So let's get an update. You know, I know the company's put out a number of press releases in the last year and change here. So I'd love to hear what's been going on with the company.
No, I appreciate it. And the biggest thing and the reason we're on the call today, Bobby, is that we did a very big merger with a company called Next Frontier Pharmaceuticals, who some of the executive management team is on the phone with us today. But it's very exciting for us because they have one of 4 FDA approved cannabis drugs. They have an FDA Schedule 2 through 3 approved DEA facility, 83,000 square feet, where they can manufacture synthetic cannabinoids and CBDs and things of that nature. So very exciting merger for us, much bigger company than Jupiter Wellness was. I think if you remember from my original interview we did, I said that I'm very good at getting the companies public, kind of getting them up to pace, getting the products developed, the patents filed, the clinical trials started, and get them funded. And I think we've accomplished that. And I think that the next step for us is to do a merger just like this for our shareholders, where we're bringing in an experienced management team that has all started, done, and run, billion-dollar market cap companies. And that's really what we have here today. So I'm going to turn it over to Shannon, who's the executive chairman of the combined entity moving forward, and let him run through quick some of the things. Bobby, I'll turn it back to you.
Sure thing. Brian just set me up. So Shannon, take it away. Let's learn a little more about Next Frontier.
So pleasure to meet you, Robert. Yeah, so I'm executive chairman at Next Frontier Pharmaceuticals. We're a leading drug developer in the cannabinoid space. So basically we have pharmaceutical drugs using cannabinoids to treat ailments. We have one of 4 FDA approved drugs, like Brian mentioned. So there's 4 in the world, FDA approved drugs based on a cannabinoid. We have the only one in the US, 3 are in Europe, London. One was just sold for $7.2 billion. That was the Epidiolex drug owned by JUPW Pharma. That was used for a child's form of epilepsy. Our FDA approved drug is approved for chemo-induced nausea and vomiting, and also as an appetite stimulant for AIDS patients. The most important thing about that approval is we have the underlying formulation is approved by the FDA from a quality and safety standpoint, which gives us about a 3-year head start on any new drug development based off that formulation. And we have 3 drugs in the pipeline that we're working on that are all blockbuster drugs in and of themselves. One for Alzheimer's, one for pancreatic cancer, and one for anorexia and cancer that we're quite bullish on. It is a long-term play. We are a pure play drug developer. We also have a unique platform of assets that most people don't have. We have patents, other process technologies around the manufacture formulation of cannabinoids, both organic and, most importantly, synthetically. Doing pharmaceuticals is very, very hard. You hear all about the cannabis in the mainstream market. This is medicinal, generally FDA process, that can be quite long. And for us, we have a good head start, great platform, and we're excited to be merging with Jupiter. They provide us a lot of what we were looking for. We were looking to go public this year. Merging with Jupiter expedites that. They had a very strong balance sheet. They had a vision of pharmaceutical cannabinoids, and we're just starting their process. With our strong base of assets and business, we kind of leapfrogged 3 stages of development for them. And we get to take control of the company, and we're very, very excited about the future.
Great. Thank you for that full overview there, Shannon. And coming right back to you, what's your background? How'd you get started in all this?
Yeah, thank you. Well, most recently, I was running global or U.S. head of cannabis investment banking at Canaccord Genuity. They're a large global bank that was #1 in cannabis investment banking. I had started my career in the Silicon Valley in the late 80s as a CPA with KPMG. I was a securities lawyer for a handful of years, and then an investment banker with DLJ, Credit Suisse, UBS. And so largely worked with life science companies and emerging growth. I did a bunch of private equity on Sand Hill Road and merchant banking, private equity type investments. And in 2014, when cannabis went rec legal, I thought this would be $1 trillion global market in 30 years. Because cannabis, it's organic, it's safe, you can't OD on it. You can take an overdose, but you're not going to die from it. And it's very well documented that it's great for pain, inflammation, insomnia, nausea, depression. And so, boy, the light went off in my head that this is going to be a huge market, not necessarily commodity retail. You know, I'm not excited about or farming or whatever. And I thought, what's the hardest thing to do? And I thought it would be pharmaceuticals based on cannabinoids, because we know the efficacy signals are there in the market, because people use our product off label for a bunch of indications. And because we're a legal THC, FDA approved, can be prescribed by any doctor. And we're the only one that has that, and no one knows about it. So when this interview came up, I thought, yeah, it'd be great to start getting the word out and let people know that we're not close with our merger yet, but it's coming, and they'll be hearing a lot more about us in the imminent near future.
Very good. Thank you for that, Shannon. And Brian, coming back to you to close us out here today, you know, Shannon alluded to my next question here a little bit, but, you know, from what you can tell us, because as Shannon just said, there's still a few steps here, but what are some of the next steps then that folks should better understand from what you can tell us with all the news you put out there?
Absolutely. So we've signed definitive agreements with Next Frontier Financials. The terms of all those have been disclosed in 8Ks and publicly released. The deal is pending regulatory and shareholder approval. We will be filing a proxy statement probably in the next week or so. And the proxy statement will go out publicly for 20 days, and the shareholders will get a right to vote for the merger or not. We're very excited about the merger, and I would encourage everybody who wants to know more about this merger to be excited as we are to click on the link and look at the combined deck of both the entities put together. It's very informative. Pay particular attention to the comps, because like Shannon said, we have 1 of 4 FDA approved cannabis drugs in the entire world, only one in the United States. And every company has over a $500 million market cap that has an FDA approved cannabis drug, but us, we have about a $20 million market cap. So I think it's the right thing for our shareholders, and I think everyone will bode very well should the merger close.
Absolutely. And Brian, one last question too, because last time we chatted, you know, we were talking about, you know, the proprietary patent pending CBD sun care and the skincare brand. So what's happening with that then as well here with this new merger?
So we're still working through that kind of stuff. That's kind of a consumer products division. Everybody that we've spoken to, including Shannon, who's very astute, obviously in the cannabis industry, believes that the new combined Next Frontier Pharmaceuticals will do much better and get a much better valuation as a pure pharmaceutical play. So a lot of the other assets, like our consumer products division, our SRM Entertainment, which is our division that makes toys for Disney and Universal Studios, we announced this week that we'll be spinning that out as a dividend to the Jupiter Wellness shareholders as well. So we haven't decided exactly what to do with the consumer products company as of yet, but for sure that Next Frontier Pharmaceuticals combined entity moving forward will be a pure pharmaceutical play.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I think that's a great place to end it. Brian, Shannon, well, I'll go to Brian on this one, Shannon. Where can our audience go and find more information on Jupiter Wellness?
JUPTERWellness.com is our website. So good start.
Very good. All right. Well, Shannon, Brian, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. I look forward to our next update.
Thank you, Robert.